Hi everyone, welcome to the Google IT Support Certificate course. In this course, we are discussing computer hardware. In this course, we are discussing basic computer hardware, right? Earlier, we discussed session 1, right? Session 1 for basic computer hardware. In previous session, we discussed about computer. What is computer? Computer is an electronic device which takes input through the input devices, process it, and gives output to the output devices called as a computer. Under that computer, we discussed different components. Basic hardware components of computer is number 1 processor, number 2 primary storage devices, number 3 motherboard, number 4 secondary storage devices, number 5 SMPS, number 6 input devices, number 7 output devices. As per previous session, we discussed about first component, that is processor. Processor is a machine or component which is capable to process given input instructions, right? As per previous session, we discussed processor specifications. What are those processor specifications? First specification of processor is speed. Speed will be going to measures in hertz, right? Second specification of processor is width. Width is nothing but architecture, processor architecture or processor capacity. Third specification of processor is FSB speed. FSB speed is nothing but the transportation speed between two or more number of components in the computer is called as a FSB speed. It is a communication system, right? Fourth specification of processor is cache memory. In coming slides, we will going to discuss about cache memory. Okay, cache memory will be going to measures in kilobytes or megabytes. This is previous session. As per previous session, we have to discuss something more about processor, right? Just look at screen, everybody. This is yesterday's session. Under that yesterday's session, we discussed processor specifications. After that, we discussed processor. Here on the screen, you can able to see the processor type. This is processor is Xeon processor. The processor name is Xeon processor, which is manufactured by Intel company. This type of Xeon processors can be used in server hardware platform. What is the general meaning of server? Server is a computer. What is the noticeable difference between normal computer and server? The noticeable difference between normal computers such as laptop and desktop or a server is configuration. In day-to-day human life, normal people will be going to use laptops or desktop. The laptops or desktops configuration is very less. For example, laptop or desktop configuration is processor, only one processor which is available on normal computer hardware platform. The processor speed, it might be 1.0 gigahertz to maximum 4.2 gigahertz. Coming to RAM, available amount of RAM from normal computer is 4 GB or 8 GB or maximum 16 GB or else 32 GB. And coming to storage capacity from normal computer is, with single physical hard disk drive, storage capacity is 1 terabyte or else 2 terabyte. This is normal computer configuration. Here what you understood, generally we are using laptops and desktop. Those laptops and desktop configuration is very less. Those are computers, right? Just compare this normal computers with servers. What is the general meaning of server? Server also one type of computer. Server is a high-end configuration computer. Whenever time comes to differentiate computer and server, especially hardware configuration, server hardware platform is specially designed to host two or more number of processors with different speeds. Coming to normal computers, RAM memory is 4 GB or 8 GB. Coming to servers, RAM memory, it might be 1 terabyte, 2 terabyte up to maximum 4 terabyte. Storage capacity of server is, it might be petabytes, it might be hexabytes with 2 or more number of physical hard disk drives. What you understood? What is the difference between normal computers and servers? Configuration. Servers are generally called as a high-end configuration computers. Understood? Here on the screen, you can able to identify one processor. The processor is Xeon processor. This type of processors are generally used in servers hardware platform. What about normal computers such as laptops or desktops? You can able to see the normal computer processors. Those computer processors are Intel or AMD processors. Why we are especially discussing about Intel or AMD? There are many processor manufacturing companies are there, Intel, AMD, Qualcomm, VIA, NVIDIA, but most of the processor market is occupied by two companies. Those are Intel and AMD. In our laptops or desktop, commonly we can able to identify processor, the processor which is manufactured by Intel or AMD, right. Here you can able to see the different types of processors. This is Intel processors, i3, i5, i7. These i3, i5, i7 processors are manufactured by Intel company. Just look at history of Intel processors. Intel has started to manufacture processors. Those processor, first type of processor from Intel is Pentium 1. Later, Intel has started to manufacture Pentium 2, Pentium 3, Pentium 4. After that, Intel has started to manufacture Pentium Extreme editions. Those are dual core processors, core to duo processors, quad core processors, core to quadra processors. In current generation computers or laptops, we are using Intel processors. Those are i3 or i5 or i7. Intel has started to latest generation processors. Those are i3, i5, i7. The performance, data processing and computer performance will be going to depends on processor speed and processor type. So that reason Intel has started to manufacture latest type of processors. Those are i3, i5, i7. This is the history of Intel processors. What about AMD? Advanced Micro Devices. This is another company, famous company for manufacturing processors, AMD. AMD has started to manufacture first type of processors, that is K5, K6. Later it has started to manufacture K611, K6111. After that, it has started to manufacture Athlon, Duron, Athlon FX, Athlon 64FX, Athlon different editions. After that, AMD has started to manufacture Sempron and Duron, Opetron, different type of processors. Whenever Intel has started to manufacture i3, i5, i7, AMD has started to manufacture latest type of processors. Those are FX 4000 series processors for latest type of computers, and Intel has started to manufacture one more type of processors, that is FX 6000 series processors. Later, AMD has started to manufacture one more type of processors. Those are FX 8000 series. FX 4000, 6000, 8000 series processors are competitor processors from Intel i3, i5, i7 processors. This Intel Core i3, i5, i7 processors are generally used in normal computer hardware platform, okay. Or else in normal computer hardware platform, we can able to identify AMD processors. Those are FX 4000 series, 6000 or 8000 series processors. This is normal computer hardware platform side. Whenever we differentiate computer with server hardware platform is specially designed to host 2 or more number of processors. Those processors might be AMD Opetron, those processors might be Intel Xeon processors. These type of processors are very powerful. This type of processors are highly succeeded in global or real production environment, okay. These were the processors for normal computers and servers. Normal computers processors are i3, i5, i7, and server processors are AMD Opetron or Xeon or different type of processors. Those are barebone processors or else thin client processors. Thank you. And let's see next slide. This is server processors, Intel Xeon 5600 series processors. Server processor, one more processor from AMD is Opetron. These are the 2 types of processors which can be used in server hardware platform, okay. I hope you guys are understood about processor. What we discussed about first component of computer, which is processor. Processor is a machine or component which is capable to process given input instructions to produce or deliver output through output devices. And in computer hardware, we have to discuss second component. That component is primary storage devices. Second component of computer is primary storage devices. What is the general meaning of primary storage? Primary storage is generally called as a computer running memory. Let's see this primary storage devices, second component of computer. This primary storage is furtherly classified into 2 types. Those are RAM and ROM. RAM stands for random access memory, ROM stands for read only memory. Furtherly, this RAM is divided into 2 types. Number 1 is static RAM, number 2 is dynamic RAM. As per today's session, we have to talk about dynamic RAM. First we have to discuss dynamic RAM. What is the general meaning of dynamic RAM? Why we need to use dynamic RAM in computers? Let's discuss. Look at screen everybody, and dynamic RAM, random access memory. This is dynamic RAM. What is this dynamic RAM? Primary storage for a computer. What is the general meaning of primary storage for a computer? Primary storage for a computer is nothing but computer running memory. For example, in order to restart your computer, computer needed boot memory. During the boot up, computer needs special type of memory. That memory can be used to boot up, that memory can be used to perform post, perform BSL and drivers. So that reason computer will be going to contain one special type of memory. That memory is primary storage. That computer primary storage is nothing but computer running memory, is called as a dynamic RAM. This dynamic RAM is generally called as a volatile memory. Volatile memory is nothing but required power to store the data. To understand second sentence from the slide, we have to go through with example. For example, I am a user, I would like to start one computer. In order to start my computer need power, right? During the startup of computer, during the boot up of computer needed boot memory for post and BSL and drives to retrieve the driver's pack during the boot up. So that reason it is called as a volatile memory. Power is required to store the data. For example, one computer has successfully booted with the help of power and primary storage. Whenever computer has successfully loaded with OS, user can able to log in on that computer. If user is logged in particular computer, he can able to make some modifications in the computer. For example, user from computer, you would like to prepare one document. You can able to prepare a document. Whenever user try to create or modify or else to write something information on document, you need power from computer with primary storage. For example, I am a user, I am working on this computer, I would like to prepare one document, I would like to prepare one leave letter. During the typing of a particular letter with the help of document, suddenly what happened? Power cut. In my computer, I don't have any UPS, uninterrupted power supply system. With the help of power, I am running my computer. Suddenly power cut. If power cut happen, what will happen? Pre-created or else during the creation of the document, if power is cut, that time we can't get that pre-created document one more time. The created document will be going to lose. So that reason this primary storage or else dynamic RAM is generally called as a volatile memory. Power is required to store the data. Whenever power is available in the computer, we can able to store the document in hard disk drive on permanent basis. Without storing the document, suddenly power cut, we never going to get that document. We will going to lose the document. So that reason this primary storage is generally called as a volatile memory. Let's see the dynamic RAM. There are different types of dynamic RAMs can be used in normal computer hardware platform. Those types are these. First type of dynamic RAM is SDRAM, synchronous dynamic RAM. This is the first type of dynamic RAM, that is SDRAM. After that, we can able to we are using one more type of dynamic RAM. The dynamic RAM is DDR RAMs, DDR1 or else DDR RAM, double data rate RAMs. And one more type of dynamic RAM, that is DDR2, double data rate 2. One more type of dynamic RAM, that is DDR3 or else DDR4. In current generation computers, we can able to identify or else we can able to recognize type of dynamic RAM which can be used in latest type of laptops and computers. The type of dynamic RAM is DDR3 or DDR4. Why we are using DDR3 and DDR4? Why? Because the available amount of dynamic RAM memory is more from DDR3 and DDR4. So that reason we are using DDR3 or DDR4 type dynamic RAMs in latest type of laptops or desktops. How to identify type of dynamic RAM in our computers? Generally, identification of RAM will be going to done verifying location of notch. What was that notch location? Everybody look at screen. Here you can able to identify one thing. In the slide, first type of dynamic RAM DDR2 RAM, double data rate 2 RAM, available number of pins are 240 pins. We are humans, we are unable to count the small or teeny pins on that particular RAM, how many pins are available on the RAM, but we can able to identify type of dynamic RAM based on notch location. Here you can able to see this is a notch location. In DDR1 RAM, DDR1 type RAMs, available notch location is almost right side, almost right side. What about DDR2? DDR2 type dynamic RAMs, available notch location is almost middle location. Okay. Coming to DDR3 notch location is slight left side, notch location is available. Here in this screen, don't compare the notch locations on this dynamic RAMs. Here the picture is not properly captured over here, but in order to identify type of dynamic RAM which can be used in computer, we need to remove the back panel of CPU box and remove or unlock dynamic RAM and compare the notch location. If notch is located slight right side, the type of dynamic RAM is generally called as a DDR1. What about DDR2? DDR2 type dynamic RAM notch location is almost middle. What about DDR3 dynamic RAM notch location is almost or a slight left side. Okay. These are the differentiation between DDR1, DDR2, DDR3. Here in this slide you can able to identify DDR2 type dynamic RAM total number of pins are 240. DDR3 dynamic RAM total number of pins are 240. Coming to DDR4 type, latest type of dynamic RAMs, available number of pins is 288 pins. What about old type, first type dynamic RAM, SDRAM, synchronous dynamic RAM, total available number of pins from old type of dynamic RAM which is SDRAM is 186 pins. What about notch locations? In SD type dynamic RAMs, we can able to identify two notch locations. In DDR2, DDR1, DDR3, DDR4 type dynamic RAMs, available number of notches are only 1. Coming to SDRAMs, available number of notches are 2 notches. Currently in latest type of or as brand new laptops and desktops or computers, we are not using SDRAMs. Either we are using DDR2 or DDR3. The reason is DDR2 and DDR3 or DDR4 type of dynamic RAM will be going to host or maintain huge amount of RAM memory. So that reason we are using latest type of dynamic RAMs in our computer. See, most of the viewers have a doubt. In order to check type of dynamic RAM which can be installed in your computer, no need to remove back panel of CPU box, no need to unlock the dynamic RAM, no need to compare the notch location. Do we have some other shortcut way to identify type of dynamic RAM? Definitely. Look at screen everybody. I am going to show you how to identify type of dynamic RAM which can be installed in your computer. Go to desktop. In desktop, here you can able to see the taskbar. Right click on taskbar. On the taskbar you can able to see task manager. In this task manager you can able to see the performance. What was that? Performance. Whenever you try to open performance tab is there here available. Click on memory. By clicking memory, here you can able to see the type of dynamic RAM which is installed in this computer. Okay. Latest type of operating systems. One second. Latest type of operating systems which is Windows 8, 8.1, Windows 10 operating systems. You can able to identify over here form factor or type of dynamic RAM over here. Okay. The list is available. Amount of dynamic RAM which is installed in this computer is available. Moreover, and form factor of dynamic RAM is available. Okay. This is the location. Latest type of operating systems you can able to see over here. Okay. Okay. On the screen you can able to identify notch location. Here two dynamic RAMs are there, notch locations are there. Earlier I said how to identify type of dynamic RAM based on notch comparison. Just follow that way, not this way. Okay. And here you can able to see in the screen type of dynamic RAMs. This type of dynamic RAMs are used in desktops. What was that? Desktop computers. What about this type of dynamic RAMs? Ballistics is one type of dynamic RAM which can be used in server hardware platform. Here on the screen you can able to see one more type of dynamic RAM. This is dynamic RAM. For this type of dynamic RAMs are used in laptops. This is dynamic RAM. Second hardware component, second component, physical component of computer is primary storage. Primary storage is furtherly classified into RAM and ROM. ROM is furtherly divided into two types, static RAM and dynamic RAM. Up to now we discussed about dynamic RAM. Okay, I hope you guys are understood very well about dynamic RAM. And coming to second type of RAM, which is static RAM. What is the static RAM? Let's discuss. Static RAM is generally called as a cache memory, or else static RAM is generally called as a processor memory, or else CPU memory, or else it is called as a hardware memory. This many names are there. Who will be going to maintain this static RAM? Processor. Processor will be going to maintain one special type of memory. That memory is called as a static RAM or a cache memory. Okay. You can able to ask a question. That question is nothing but already computer is working with one type of memory, that is computer running memory. That running memory is nothing but dynamic RAM. If computer is running with the dynamic RAM, why computer processor will be going to maintain one more type of RAM? What is the requirement of second type of RAM which can be used by processor? Let's discuss little bit about static RAM. Generally, processor is a high speed device. It will be going to process given input instructions in a faster manner. Dynamic RAM is unable to match the speed of processor. Hence, processor required special type of memory. That memory is called as a static RAM. That is nothing but in order to process given input instructions, processor will be going to maintain special type of memory. That memory is called as a static RAM. The RAM is called as a cache memory. The size of the static RAM is small, but it is faster. How much we can able to, how much amount of memory we can able to expect that memory is static RAM from processor? It might be 1 KB, 2 KB or as 3 KB, or as minimum in computers it will be going to start with 1 KB and maximum is 8 MB. I am talking about normal computers. The normal computers from HP or Dell or Lenovo or whatever it is, the computers which are used for individual purpose, those computers contains cache memory. The maximum amount of cache memory is 8 MB. It depends on processor and depends on processor type, depends on processor speed. Manufacturer will be going to specify some amount of cache memory. I am using one laptop. In my laptop, available amount of static RAM is only 1 MB. If I purchase i7 processor brand new laptop from Dell, based on that configuration of laptop, I can able to get maximum amount of cache memory. It might be 8 MB. My doubt is why processor will be going to maintain special type of memory which is called as a static RAM. What is the use of static RAM from processor? Let's discuss little bit about importance of static RAM. Processor is a high speed device. It will be going to process given input instructions in a faster manner. Dynamic RAM unable to match the speed of processor. Hence, processor requires special type of memory. The memory is called as a static RAM. Again, my doubt is still there. Why processor will be going to maintain special type of memory which is static RAM? Processor will be going to access collected input instructions from dynamic RAM. What is dynamic RAM? Dynamic RAM is a computer running memory. It is responsible to collect the given input instructions on computer. User will be going to give instructions by using input devices. Given input instructions will be collected by dynamic RAM. Those collected input instructions will be accessed by processor. In order to access collected input instructions from RAM, processor will be going to use a special type of memory. That memory is called as a static RAM. Simple meaning, simple word to express importance of static RAM from processor is to reduce the time to access collected input instructions from dynamic RAM. Processor will be going to use as cache memory or static RAM. This is the first purpose. Second purpose to using static RAM by processor is to reduce average cost. What is the general meaning of average cost? Average cost is equal time plus energy. Just go through with example to reduce average cost by processor. For example, I am a user, I am working in this computer. I would like to give input instruction which is 2 plus 3. Given input instruction which is 2 plus 3 will be collected by dynamic RAM. Processor, another component from the computer which is processor, will be going to access collected input instructions from dynamic RAM, in example 2 plus 3. To access that collected input instructions from dynamic RAM, processor will be going to use as static RAM. Once it has accessed collected input instructions from dynamic RAM, processor itself, it will be going to spend some time and energy to process collected input instructions. Processor itself, it will be going to process accessed input instructions such as 2 plus 3 by spending time and energy. Finally, processor will be going to deliver output which is 5 through output devices. In this process, what actually happening? Processor is spending some time and energy to process given input instructions. Understood? Or else just go through with one more example. I am a person, I would like to assign one work or task to you. The task is, I need a contact number of particular manager. We both are working in one company. For example, I am a project director. I need contact number of particular project manager. Under that, one of my subordinate is there. I assign one task to him. The task is, I need a contact number of manager of this project. Definitely that person will be going to spend some time and energy to take the contact number of particular manager. He will going to walk out, he will going to visit the particular manager cabin, and he will going to take contact number. He will return back, he will going to give that contact number to me. To finish this assigned task, that user has spent some valuable time, moreover is spent his body energy to finish that assigned task. The same way, whenever processor access input instructions, to process that collected input instructions, processor will be going to spend some time and energy. The time and energy is generally called as a average cost. For example, user first time gave input instruction which is 2 plus 3 will be going to accessed by processor from dynamic RAM. Processor itself, it will be going to process 2 plus 3 given input instruction by spending time and energy, that is called as a average cost first time. First time processor will be going to waste time and energy. It will finally be going to give the output is 5 through output devices. Again user has gave a input instruction, same input instruction which is 2 plus 3 after an half an hour or 1 hour without shutdowning computer. Second time user has gave a 2 plus 3 input instruction. Given input instructions will be collected by RAM. Those will be accessed by processor. Finally, processor will be going to process that given input instruction. In this case, second time processor will be going to act as intelligent. It will be going to check the cache memory. It will be going to verify, did I process this 2 plus 3 given input instructions earlier or not. Definitely that previously or earlier processed input instructions 2 plus 3 is available on cache memory of processor. This time processor, second time processor never going to spend time and energy to process 2 plus 3. Blindly it will be going to give output is 5 by verifying cache memory. In second time processor is acting like intelligent. Moreover, it is reducing average cost with the help of cache memory. I hope you guys are understood importance of cache memory. The main purpose to using cache memory or static RAM by processor is to reduce the time to access collected input instructions from dynamic RAM. Second purpose to using static RAM by processor is to reduce average cost. Understood? I hope you guys are understood. This cache memory is available in the form of pool. In cache memory, pool is available in the form of L1 cache, L2 cache, L3 cache. L1 cache is generally called as a level 1 cache or internal cache. What was that internal cache? Everybody look at screen. Here one processor is there. The cache which is located inside the processor, the cache which is located inside the processor is called as a L1 cache. Expected amount of L1 cache memory size as per my knowledge, it will be going to start with 4 KB to 512 KB. This is internal cache or else L1 cache, or else the cache which is located inside the processor is called as a inside the processor is called as a cache memory, internal cache. Second type L2 cache, second pool of memory is L2 memory. L2 memory is external cache. The cache which is located die on the processor, everybody look at screen. The cache which is located die on the processor is called as a L2 cache. Expected amount of L2 cache memory size, it will be going to probably it will be going to start with 512 KB to maximum up to 1 MB. This is L2 cache. L3 cache, second or third cache memory pool is L3 cache. The cache which is located die on the processor in the same like L2 cache. L3 cache also, the cache which is located die on the processor is called as a L3 cache. Expected amount of L3 cache memory size is 1 MB to maximum 8 MB in normal computers. I am not talking about high-end configuration computers. Okay, I hope you guys are understood cache memory. In this session, what we understood, primary storage devices is furtherly classified into RAM. RAM is furtherly divided into two types. Number one is static RAM, number two is dynamic RAM. Up to now we discussed about dynamic RAM and static RAM. RAM is over. Second type of primary storage is ROM. What was that? ROM. Just go through with ROM. ROM stands for read only memory. What is this ROM? ROM is a collection of circuits, or as ROM is integrated with many circuits. ROM is integrated circuits that are used to permanently store, startup or boot up instructions or other critical information. ROM is a collection of many circuits. Under that, one of the circuit is BIOS chip, or as many circuits. We do not have any particular location for ROM on computer motherboard. ROM is a collection of many circuits, so that reason ROM is generally called as a integrated circuits that are used to permanently store startup or boot up instructions. What is the general meaning of startup or boot up instructions? Just go through with example to understand this word. As a user, I would like to restart my computer. Whenever I start up my computer will be going to perform some sequencing boot up steps. Those boot up steps is nothing but startup steps or as boot up steps. This startup or boot up steps of particular computer will be written by manufacturer. Each computer manufacturer will be going to write or store the computer or server startup or boot up instructions in ROM location. ROM is nothing but collection of many circuits. Those circuit storage capacity is used to write or store computer startup or boot up instructions. Whenever we try to restart computer will be going to boot up by performing sequential startup settings. Those startup settings are generally called as a booting order. The booting order steps will be going to stored in ROM location. It is a collection of many circuits. Moreover, this ROM memory is used to store critical information. That critical information is nothing but computer complementary information, that is nothing but BIOS information, critical information. In current generation laptops or desktops, we are using type of ROM. The type of ROM is EEPROM, electrically erasable programmable read only memory. EEPROM type of ROM we are using latest type of computers, those are laptops or desktops. Before that we were used EPROM, erasable programmable read only memory. Before that, before EPROM we were used PROM, PR programmable read only memory. But latest type of brand new laptops and desktops, we are using one special type of ROM. That ROM is EEPROM, electrically erasable programmable read only memory. What is this electrically erasable programmable read memory? Earlier we discussed, right? ROM is collection of many circuits that are used to permanently store, start up or boot up instructions of computer and other critical information. Critical information is nothing but BIOS or computer complementary information. For example, in my computer I would like to change some modifications, especially I would like to change first boot priority. Why I need to change first boot priority? For example, I would like to install operating system in this computer. In order to install operating system in this computer by using bootable CD or bootable DVD or bootable pen drive, we need to change first boot priority. By default setting of first boot priority of computer is CD-ROM. I would like to install OS in my computer by using bootable pen drive. In order to install operating system by using bootable pen drive in this computer, first I need to access computer BIOS. Moreover, I need to change first boot priority of this computer CD or DVD ROM to USB HDD. Whenever I try to make some modifications in computer BIOS, those modifications will be going to affected by restarting computer. How many of you modified computer BIOS? I hope everybody nowadays, right? For example, in order to access BIOS, first I need to start my computer. During the boot up, I need to press any shortcut key. It might be function key F2, function key F8, function key F2, F10, or else it depends on manufacturer of particular computer. It depends on type of model. We have to use different shortcut keys for HP laptops, desktop, HP laptops or desktops, Dell laptops or desktops, or some other manufacturing laptops and computers. Based on shortcuts, we have to access computer BIOS. If I access computer BIOS, over there I can able to change the first boot priority CD-ROM to USB HDD. In USB HDD, I change it, for example, first boot priority CD or DVD ROM to USB HDD. Over there, to save those modifications, I need to press F10. By pressing F10, computer screen will be going to prompt one message to save these modifications, type Y. Type Y letter and click on enter. Computer immediately restarted. Means what actually I am doing, I am making some modifications in computer BIOS, that is nothing but complementary information. If we try to make some modifications in computer BIOS, we have to restart the computer. Computer doesn't require power to make modifications in computer BIOS. So that reason this ROM type memory is generally called as a flash memory, or else ROM type memory is generally called as a non-volatile memory. If we try to make any modifications in computer ROM by accessing BIOS or else by making system settings, computer doesn't require power. Moreover, to changes make effect, computer need to restart. So that reason ROM type memory is generally called as a non-volatile memory. What about RAM, random access memory? It is a volatile memory. Power is required to store the data. Coming to ROM, power is not required to make some modifications or save modifications in computer ROM. Okay, this is non-volatile memory. What is this BIOS? Basic input output system. This session to be continued tomorrow and day after tomorrow also same time. Okay, I hope you guys are understood today's session, right? As per today's session, what we discussed, primary storage devices. Primary storage is furtherly classified into RAM and ROM. RAM furtherly divided into two types, static RAM and dynamic RAM. Okay, I hope you guys are understood basic computer hardware part 2 session, right? This is part 2 session. Yesterday we discussed basic hardware components and functionality part 1. Tomorrow same time we will going to discuss part 3 or session 3. The session to be continued tomorrow. Okay, and tomorrow's session we have to talk about BIOS. Okay, BIOS. What is BIOS? What is the importance of BIOS? We will discuss tomorrow's session. I hope you guys are understood today's session. The session is session 2. This is session 2 from basic computer hardware. Okay, and thank you for watching the session, and see you tomorrow. Have a great day. See you. Bye bye.